Hello, it is Monday morning. Had an eventful weekend with the news. Let's kind of go over it. The big story is it looks like oil is cracking. Over the weekend, U.S. and Iran paused strikes. That's the second straight day. If you look at the futures, they're down 12% or so on. I'm looking at a delayed chart here. And Brent's at 90, the biggest single day drop since the war started. If you look at the fine print, it looks like it's more of a pause and not a signed ceasefire. So nobody signed anything. There's no official announcement. The Strait of Hormuz is still not reopened. And it looks like the war has widened, right? Houthis hit the Red Sea terminal Saturday during the pause. So it looks like the market's pricing peace that really hasn't happened yet. So if the pause cracks, oil might snap back. But this is an interesting 6-month chart here on Brent. So what's moving? It looks like energy is the clear loser here. And we had a position. We got out of that recently. I was kind of kicking myself for getting out, but we sold well above my price target. And now down 2.5%. And we had a couple signals, but never really solidified on XOM. And they're down as well. And you have that low volume indecisive candle there on Friday, which should have been your warning sign. But yeah, a moment of silence for whoever held this over the weekend. Looks like tech is ripping. So the semis flipped from -3 to +2 in the pre-market. Let's see. Tech's risky. Haven's getting a small bid back. So gold. What else? Gold and some oil inflation trade unwinds, but so far it's just kind of small. If you look at the pre-market movers here, we're kind of some thin volume. So we're having Friday was risk off. Right now the market is kind of mixed. So we're just going to kind of see where this goes here. And let's go through some of the tweets this morning. Had an interesting CQQQ. Looks like potential long opportunity here. They had some sort of massive 688.825 STAR Market debut there. So this is an interesting position that might be favorable. We'll watch that in the morning. Australian dollar, US dollar is taking a long position here. The 4-hour chart showing strength. So we'll see how that plays out. British pounds catching a mild bid from firm dollar weakness. Technical structure is kind of pointing to more consolidation. So we'll see how that looks in the morning. US dollar JPY price action is kind of drifting down. So we're seeing the sliding US Treasury yields. The yen's catching a bid as the PM is committing to boosting some market trust. We'll see how that goes. EURUSD is testing further down, further mark down rather. Probably going to test that 113 handle. And I think that's about it. Yep, okay. Let's go over and look at where our trades are at. Don't have a lot. Let's see here. Where's the gold crosshairs? Yeah, so we don't have a lot going on here. Just 4 positions. We will want to see what CSX is up to here. So IDT got filled. Low volume, high bar there. So non-harmonic, I don't see any pre-market stuff going, so we'll just see here. Stop loss remains on that. TRV was a high and tight. This thing was pretty interesting. Friday, massive candle. Pre-market's 387, so we're just going to honor the price target and watch that. So we'll be watching that this morning. Microsoft, it's been consolidating. Pre-market's up, so yeah, we're just consolidating on this. Stop is not being hit. CSX had a massive candle recently. Yeah, okay, a couple days ago, and then still pre-market up. So I'm going to further lock this in and put this just below wiggle room there. CSX is kind of rising on lower volume after the very high volume, and pre-market's up. So we're kind of in no man's land here. I do expect it to come back down, probably test this. Let's see here. 20-day. Yeah, we're still very low. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Not a lot of positions, not too bad. Let's go and look at the signals here for the morning. Seeing a defensive on Friday. Looking at leadership. Leadership's RTX is trying to break out. They had a good earnings. BMY. Let's see here. Bull flag breakout on CERT. It actually looks like a really interesting position with a huge gap fill all the way to 1013. So we're probably going to watch this. We do have earnings next week, but we'll see how this goes. Maybe wait to see how it closes. Yeah. But it looks like an interesting bull flag breakout there. And then sector rotation is still showing XLE. I think that's because it's a day behind. So we'll see how that plays out. And that's about it. Let's check out the box scanner. Get that thing going. Let's go through some charts, see what's going on anything we may have saved. Walmart's still marked down. Google's very interesting, just kind of sitting on the 200-day. I'm not chasing this. I'm not going to get into that. If you look at Google, it's just really just sitting there. It's still pretty expensive. Made a post on this recently. What was it? Google. Yeah, we made a post on this on X recently. The profit from Q2 was really just equity stake profits, not really the business. If you strip it out and we look at a Lynch chart here, we would have to get down lower than before the last pullback to see if this is interesting or not. So we're definitely far coupled from earnings to price, which what isn't, right? But we've been in Google for a while. I forget what the profit is on that, but it's pretty nice. Um, I'm always looking for a good buy. It does like the 200-day, so I'm not saying I'm gonna not buy it, but we're just watching. CVS, BBY showed up on the leadership scan this morning. It is kind of consolidating. That's an interesting setup. So we may put an order in on that. Oh, okay, so it's testing the 29th high. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we will put an order. Just kind of watch it. See what's going on with it. Probably put a buy order above that. SLM's just going goofy. Blaze. Senior Living is getting a bid this morning because we saw that. Wow. Crazy. Interesting. Getting closer to that previous zone there. Yeah, that'd be interesting. SBRA, previous levels 24. It's not a bad idea. I mean, that'd be a short play, but it's closer to the previous demand zone than it is supply, so it's not too bad. You're not going to get rich on it, but it is an interesting setup. TRV, man. That's us. Look, so EPOL, we did not get into that. We're still going to watch that. And then we're watching CERT this morning. Let's go through the setups. Let's grade these real quick. Still have to grade the box scanner because we're a certain number of trades away from having good data. So we're still just going through it this morning, putting the work in. It has paid off. So we're just trusting the process there. That's an interesting one. And not a lot of scans showing up, but that's kind of, the way it goes. You just sit on your hands more often than you don't. So I don't even have any picks from this morning. Interesting. We do have TRNS that's showing up as a buy. Low confidence AGCO. They have a low buy order on that too. That's interesting. And then Arlo. Interesting. Yeah, well, a lot of news happening over the weekend, so we're just going to kind of watch and see where things go. We're looking at XLI and seeing how things play out this morning. Pre-market's mixed, so we're definitely going to stay just watching. Hands sitting on our hands this morning. That's about it.